Hello, good day everyone. You're welcome to my channel once again. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Ayoba Mioje. I'm a data analyst based in Lagos State, Nigeria. Frequently, I drop videos that have to simplify the data analysis concept. And to encourage me, I would appreciate if you can click on the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop new content. So today we'll be looking at how to filter data. How to filter data. So here we have a data set, a simple data set about that. We have a simple data set about 1,000 rows, I guess, and we have 6 columns. So we'll just be looking at how to filter through this data set in case we need to do some things on it. So don't mind the fact that the sales date is encoded here. Let me just change the type to date so that that can be converted to, or change that to short date for the time being. So we have date in the correct format now. It was that way because Excel, encoded the date as a number. But once I change the format from general to date, it comes to the original date format. So let's look at how we can filter this based on the location. There are different ways we can choose to do this, and I will show you the various ways we can choose to do it. So the first thing we can do is, we could select the whole data set. So I'll hold on Shift and Control, Shift Control side button, Shift Control down button. So I have all of my data selected, as you can see. I can decide to add a filter to this data. So I'll just come right here and I'll say filter. So if I say filter, as you can see, this automatically adds a filter at the top of each column here. So I can come into the sales ID column and see all the IDs present in my data, all of them listed up. And I see all the values that are in the gender column. I can see them. It picks a unique value that represents each of the values I have in each column and presents it to me. So I see that I have female, I have male, I have males, I have male with double E, I have F. So it is not a data cleaning class. Else I would have taught you, how to change this and correct it. But then a video on how to do that will come up in a later time. So let me check the location column that we are most concerned about. So you can see that we have the location. We have Ekiti, we have Lagos, we have Ogun, we have Oguns, we have Odo, we have Oshun, we have Oyo. So since this is not a data cleaning class, I can choose to just filter. Let me select Lagos, for instance. Once I click on Lagos and I say okay, you see that we have all the data for Lagos coming out before our eyes. No other state showing, only Lagos. As you can see, we have only Lagos showing now. Let me highlight that. See, they are all Lagos, 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 Lagos. If I choose to change that, I choose to filter and select maybe another state. I won't select, then I will select probably Osun State and okay. You see that all the data I will have here now will be Osun State. Beautiful. So let me remove the color. So that's our first way of filtering our data, that is using filter on each column. We came here and we selected the filter. So for now, let me select all my data again so that I can off the filter and we can look at the other ways. So I'll say off my filter. Yeah. So once I off my filter, you see that the filter has gone. The second way we to do this is by using a table. Yes, like I said, it's more easy working with data, very huge data set, when you're working with a table. In fact, I would advise you, whenever you have huge data set, always try to work with a table. It makes it easy for you, to easily locate whatever you want to find and filter it. Okay, let's look at how to use a table. Whenever I want to use a table, all we have to do is, select the data set as usual. So we select. When we select the whole of our data set, we come to our insert tab and we say insert a table. So Excel asks us, does your table has headers? Yes, my table has headers in this case, because as we can see, my headers are sales ID, gender, age, location, car model, and sales date. Yeah, so my table has headers. I'll check this. If your table does not have headers, you uncheck. But because mine has headers, so I have to check. So I click OK. And once I do that, Excel presents my data as one beautiful table. Note, I can change the color of my table if I wish to. So I could use a black table, I could use green, I could use any of these that, I want to use. But in this case, let me just use blue. I like color blue, so let me stick with, yeah, I think I'll stick with blue. Let me stick with this other blue, this other one. Yeah, I think I'll stick with this blue. Right. So once we want to filter now, all we have to do, since we have everything in the table, our work is super easy. We just have to come to our location where we want to filter by, and like we did the other time, select maybe Ekiti for instance, and that's it. Tada. You have all the sales made in Ekiti standing before your eyes, right? So that's it. So finally, we'll be looking at the third way, how to filter our data. So let me remove this filter first. Let me clear this filter. So the third way is quite easy too, but is you proceeding from using a table. So the first, remember the first way we check was you adding a filter directly. This is the second way, which is using a table. So the third way is you going a step further. After getting your table out, you just you want to make your work really really easy, like super easy for someone who has no idea of how to use Excel, to be able to just go around and check your data. So what you can do is you can insert a slicer. So if I want to insert a slicer, it's quite easy to do. Look at how I do it. So you come to your table design. Once you come to table design, you say insert slicer. So once you say insert slicer, it asks you which column do you want to put in the slicer. So because we want to filter by location column, you remember, right? So yes, I'll click on my location column in this case. So once I click on my location column and I say okay, then you see that I have a slicer before me. This slicer helps me to filter my data. So if I click on any of these states, I will have data associated with that state. So once I click on Ekiti, as you can see, my data has filtered Ekiti out. My slicer has filtered Ekiti out. Lagos, Ogun, Oguns, Ondo, and Oyo in this case. As you can see, our work now is much more easier. And when I'm done, I feel like I want to check the filter. I just have to say clear filter. And yeah, we're back to default. Note, I can also put my my slicer to multi-select mode. If I put it to multi-select mode, I can select 2 states at a time, for instance. So what I can do is, now that I've clicked on the multi-select tab, if I want any state, if I want any state to show, I just have to make sure that the state is unchecked. So I'll check every other state except Lagos on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once I do this, the only states I will have in my slicer are Lagos and Ogun. So I can clear the filter again. So if it was that I only wanted Oyo states, that means I would select others out, make them white now, so select them out. As you can see, now I have Oyo state because I selected every other state out. I left only Oyo state selected. Okay. So if I also want to select Ekiti, Lagos, and Ogun State, the first 3 states, I just have to unselect others. And as you can see, I have only Ogun, Lagos, Ekiti as my state. So that will be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you learned a thing or two. Thank you for joining us. Till next time.